Lisa's not afraid to stand up for the things that matter, and it's a real privilege to have her here with us today. She has already agreed to champion putting back the money for New Americans into the Senate budget, so she's staying a friend with us for a very long time. Please welcome Senate Majority Leader Lisa Brown.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you to Pramila for that very generous introduction. And if you can't hear me, just wave and I'll talk a little bit louder. First of all, I wanted to say welcome. Welcome to the state capitol. And every seat of government needs to be a place where people feel comfortable and welcome to come and to have their voices be heard. Because we are here in a democratic society only because of people making the decisions. And so I'm very happy to have you here today. And I'm also pleased to see that many of you have brought children, because we need children to remind us that what we do is also about the future, and it's about the things we care about most, which is our children. And my first year in the legislature, my son was 1 year old in my arms, and one night I took him onto the floor of the House of Representatives, and I got a phone call that said, "No children allowed on the floor of the House of Representatives." And I was there to vote on a bill, and they said, "You have to leave with your son." So this created a big controversy where people started talking about how the legislature should be a more family-friendly place. And I'm pleased to say, as a result of that, they've now created one day a year called Kids Day, where children and grandchildren are all welcome to be part of the process. And my son, who was 1 year, my first year in the legislature, is graduating from high school this year. So these children here today will also be moving in. Some of them may be sitting on the floor of the House of Representatives or the floor of the Senate someday, and that would make me very proud. We're here today partly because you heard I teach and study economics, partly for the cold, hard reality that supporting immigrants is the right thing to do for economics, for the economics of this country. For the workforce that immigrants represent, for the consumption expenditures that they make, for the income that they earn, and for the contribution to the overall health of the economic system. So that is a clear and fact that cannot be argued with, that it makes good economic sense to invest in the people who are, in fact, our future. But deeper than economics, and more significant than economics, is the moral responsibility we have. We all come from different paths, but a country is not just a place. A country is its people and its values, and the values that it supports. And the values of the American dream are that no matter what place you come from, that when you come to this country, you have the rights that all have, that we don't discriminate, some rights for some and other rights for all. Rights for all. Furthermore, we are all stronger when we bring our histories together, when we bring our cultures and our traditions, and we are able to learn from each other and take the best of all. So that is one of the reasons I'm happy to be here today to speak with you. I want to congratulate the New Americans program, because the process of becoming a citizen can be so difficult with so many barriers and obstacles in the way without the information and support. And the New Americans program has been so successful in helping immigrants achieve citizenship status and helping thousands of people with the basic necessities of life and survival in a society that can sometimes be bureaucratic, and complex. And so my congratulations to the program. We need to keep the program strong, and state support for the program is a good investment in our future. And so I hope to help support the funding in the Senate budget. Another aspect that is very important is creating the opportunities for language acquisition and the breaking down of linguistic barriers, whether it is making sure that we have interpreter services for healthcare and for our civil justice system, or whether it is providing affordable, accessible opportunities for people to acquire and use language. I have that same experience. Pramila told you of my time in Nicaragua. When I went there, my Spanish was pretty minimal. And so I had the experience of living in a country and needing to ask for directions and figure things out and having very limited ability to communicate. And I've gone through that experience. And as someone who, as my mother said, I started talking and never stopped very early, it was a very challenging and frustrating experience for me, but one that made me appreciate so much how our ability to communicate with each other is essential to our understanding of each other as human beings. And so we can only benefit from that. I'm proud that my son has grown up in not only my home, but his father's home with a Spanish-speaking stepmother, and he is bilingual. I'm very proud of that, and I know that we need to extend those opportunities to all. So that is another challenge for us in the state legislature. I also know that it's not just about the policies at the state level, but we have challenges at the federal and national level as well. And I want to work with you and with our congressional delegation so that they understand our commitment here to comprehensive national immigration reform. So your participation here today, meeting with individual legislators and telling your story and standing up for not only your rights, but many of those who will come after, who we may never meet, is very important and very gratifying to me. And I am really pleased to see that the New Americans Policy Council is going to move forward. We've got recommendations there to act on for a period of time. One of the things that I've learned in politics is that it's hard to get where you need to go in just 1 year. And as they say, a journey begins with a single step. So let's take our steps this year and then keep marching forward. And thank you so much for having me here today.